Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Monday lighting critique. We have a couple animated shots to look at first, and then we're going to go into the stills next. So up first, we have Ashley. Ashley, this is okay. So this is an animated scene. By the way, good job of getting it rendered on iterations. On it looks like 4s maybe. It's once you get it set up, the render times go way down, and you can get it going. But but good job with that. I think this is. I think overall we're reading a lot of the color change. We're seeing I think it's actually working out really well with the dialogue that goes through, because he kind of reacts to this thing here at the beginning, and then all of a sudden shifts to red. I think that's really cool. The biggest thing for me is a couple things. One, and you put this great references, is these reference images. You feel the screen more prominently than any other light source. Like they don't really have a lot of light on their backs. It's all like very, very frontal. With this one, I'm seeing a lot of like rim light and stuff back here, and I really, really want to isolate it to just the screen. So I want to downplay all of that and allow because everything that's being lit should be coming from this for the most part. And it's okay that there's like a soft bit of light in the background back there, but don't allow it to overpower or compete with the monitor. So there's that, and then even in this shot here, like this lamp is really downplayed, and even though it's right next to her, it's not like. And actually, when a shot like this, they'll actually push extra light in here or do something to the screen to make it glow brighter or something. So even in a situation like that, you just want to see it on the character's face. The other thing that would be really cool is, because we have such a connection between the character and the screen, is to get the reflection of the screen in the eyes would be a big one. And then I wouldn't let him quite go as dark as he does when he falls back in here. I think that it's a little bit of an extreme drop off. I like the idea of it getting dimmer, but I wouldn't quite go that far. But yeah, the other thing that's really nice is it's like this screen is very consistent here at the beginning. That implies like safety, and implies that everything's like static, and then all of a sudden like it jumps right with his action, and then all of a sudden it's blowing up, and it's really good. Here's headphones get a little bright in some parts, and again that'll change when we de-emphasize some of this lighting around it and make it more, because like this should be lit more from the front, and like this sides should be de-emphasized a little bit. Same thing here, more up front there, less over here. And then just watch out. There's some like weird edging things around here you want to watch out for. I'm not quite sure what those are. And then lastly, if you want, just because I've noticed this about every piece of computer equipment that's come out in the last however many years, it all glows a lot, and like it kind of throws light onto the surroundings. And you can do that from the mouse and the keyboard a little bit too. But I think that's about it. But yeah, how are you feeling about this? You here?
Pretty good. Like, I did try some reflection stuff into the eyes, and it was not looking right, so I'll have to work on that some more. But, like, what you're saying, like, makes sense, so, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, that's good. And then, like, seeing, maybe, like, seeing more of his shadow on the chair would be good, too, because right now it's just, like, solid. But we'll, or, like, even if it's projected, let's see this reference. If it should be should see a shadow. No, because it's a pretty big light source. Yeah, I was thinking about seeing the shadow on the wall, but that's not necessary. Yeah, this is a really cool start. This is exactly what I was hoping. Like, this is exactly what my brain was thinking stylistically when I saw this animation for the first time. Just seeing that, like, again, that switch in visual to go along with the dialogue and the audio is really good. So nice job there. All right, so let's hop over into Kevin. Why is that not loading? I'm clicking that. There we go. Yeah, so this is looking. Overall, it's looking good. I think the haze is still there. I want to it's like I want to darken the black point in the foreground a little more, like everything in front of why is this being strange? Anything in front of, I can't draw on this right now. There we go. Let me use my mouse. Anything in front of this, I want to take this black point and just pull it down a little bit to darken it, to pull everything a little closer. So I think, because I think the haze is a little bit overpowering at this point. Looking at the girl now. I think she looks pretty good. The one and this is on us when we created this animation, but one thing you may want to just turn off her visibility for the first until the door opens, because you can see her shadow, like she's like standing right outside the door, and it's it's a thing that happens that I didn't check when we were working with the animator on this, but like you may just want to kill her shadow because it just kind of gives away the gag a little bit. But that's the biggest one, is getting that black point in the foreground. We can add some eye reflections to him. I'm wondering if we can't desaturate the color of this volumetric light. It's a little strong on the oranges. I think we can tone that down a little bit. And then soften this shadow coming out of the TV. Because like looking at, again, like this reference is pretty similar. Like all of these are even smaller screens, and they're throwing really soft light around. And the TV is theoretically bigger than that. So it's not gonna create hard shadows like this. Yeah, I think all in all though, it's coming together nicely.
Should I then maybe soften his shadow as well on the wall, or does that look good?
Yeah, soften that one up a little bit too. Not much, but just because again, it's like a big light source. It just makes sense that it would be a little softer. And then watch out for, as he steps forward here, I'm just seeing this and this is kind of in the, like his shadow is pretty clamped in value. Like there's not a lot of shaping going on in there, but it's also lifted with kind of the volumetric that's in there. So it's not like black, but it's lifted, but it also doesn't have shaping in it. So once you lower the black point and kind of pull back some of the volumetric stuff in the foreground, you may have to put a little bit more light in here just to create a little more shaping in there.
Okay.
Cool. All right, let's hop over into our stills for the day. Right. I think Annabelle is the earliest on our... Yeah, Andre is not here. So yeah, Annabelle, we'll jump in with you. All right. This is pretty out of the gate. Like this was... I saw this initially and I was like, oh. And like this hit that initial like appeal test of, how you immediately react to it. And I was like, the colors are pretty. I love... Like I'll look at Aurora Borealis. I don't think that's how you say it. But... the Northern Lights, I'll look at pictures of the Northern Lights all day, every day. There are a few things like that we can do. I think that we can go a little bit darker over here in the foreground to really push the eye back. Again, a staple of this scene is that this wall, call this wall 1. There's wall 1, like wall 2 that goes this way. And wall 3, if they're too similar tonality wise, it all just kind of starts to blend together. So what I like to do is darken this wall a little bit, just on this side, so it kind of creates more of a depth in the scene between those 3. So literally, if it's a still, you can just roto it or just just darken it a little bit in the comp, or in Photoshop, or however you can put it together.
The other wall where there's the door too.
No, keep this wall where it is. Let's keep this wall where it is. It's just a matter of pushing this area in here a little bit darker.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The snow value looks really good. Snow, if anyone's done it, is very, very difficult. It's easy. It's easy to blow out and make too bright. It's easy to make it look too dark and dingy and dirty and gray. But you've done a really nice job of, and you've got multiple colors in this scene, and it's difficult too when you're doing that because the colors want to fuse together into a gray mushiness. But you've got a really nice separation, and I don't see like there's the kind of greenish color, and then when it kind of goes into this darker, I see a lot more blue, like pretty blue color, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, at the beginning it was definitely a bit grayish and dark, and it looked kind of dirty, but like I had a bit of SSS, and it kind of like helped bounce the light a little bit, and I made it brighter, so it helped.
Yeah, it's working really well. So it's like, yeah, it's very difficult, very, very difficult to do. I think maybe this will do it, because like I'm looking at this area in here, and it looks pretty even. I want to try and find some more variation back there, either something going up, down, or maybe differentiating those two buildings a little more. But like that area, other than the windows and the railings and the snow on the little awning roofs there, it looks pretty flat and even. And so I'm wondering, maybe we can darken it a little bit, or maybe just like vary those two buildings up. See a little more shaping back there.
Yeah, definitely. I could maybe make like the last building darker, so that way.
Yeah, there's something. So like again, you want to build this sense of depth and stepping back into space, and like some variation in values will really help that. But yeah, I think everything else is looking really good. I wonder, I would do a quick search too of like what this window reflection would look like, because it looks good, but I'm wondering if it's too crisp.
Oh, maybe like I could like blur it a little bit.
Yeah, like a little warble or like a little something in there to vary it up. But I love that we're seeing the color in these as well. Yeah, it's all very pretty. And then yeah, just darken there, darken a little bit up here too. This is already looking pretty good down here, but like this area and then this area, just to kind of create some more vignetting to send us back this way. I think we're good. Yeah, really good job. This looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Right. We have Brenda up next. Yeah, this looks good. I think that we can get some... I was going to say, I wonder if we could get some more dark values in the refractions in the glass. Maybe make the glass a little bit, like just, again, taking that black point and shifting it slightly. But
Okay.
but everything else is looking really good. Like you've got the circles on the dance floor, the Saturday Night Fever looking dance floor. We've got some reflections down there. We've got the cast shadows. The values are looking good. You've got these little lens flares. The base of the light looks really strong. I wonder if with these like the lens flare looks good on this, but for some reason on the lights it looks a little. I'm wondering if we can't try a different shape, like maybe a little bit of a wider, like anamorphic, kind of a thing on that, and then I would push their color a little bit more towards the color of the lights themselves, if possible, because right now they're all kind of an orange pinkish hue, and it works well on this one, and this one actually looks good too because it's kind of like bluish red, but for some reason this one, and especially this one on the left, it looks a little off the hero color of the light itself.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think it's looking good otherwise.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a good exercise here. That was really nice. All right. Kat, we've got you up next. All right. So we've got 1, 2. So I think individually...
it's kind of put it in there to compare.
Yeah. These are just in here for reference. So I think individually, I think like this shot by itself is looking really good. Again, I would like to see the eyes and teeth go a little brighter. Just like bump them up in the comp.
Yeah.
And just to make, because like, again, if we, tonality wise.
Did that, but maybe it got deleted in an iteration. So I remember going back and adjusting it, and then I'm like, why am I not seeing it now?
Yeah, just double check, because it should be, they should, because again, that's just like where we're reading stuff. They should up in there, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. That now my concern lies with, was it this shot? Where'd it go? Like this, move these side by side. This and this.
Yeah, I haven't really worked on the standing part. I just put one light up just to light her up because I hadn't really worked on the last half of it. I was just trying to get an idea of how the two would work together. The first half of the second half.
Yeah. But what you don't want to happen is like just like focusing on the door behind her. It's brighter here than it is here, and you want like the ceiling feels a little brighter. Everything in the background feels brighter, and you want it to feel about this level in this shot so they cut together well. Otherwise, it'll just feel like there's been a time shift or something else is going on. And like she's brighter in this shadow than she is in here, this brightness either needs to be there in this one, or which I don't think it should. I think that this one should like allow her to go a little bit darker.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to figure that out because like with her relation to the desk lighting from his shots, I didn't know if like she was standing up that there should be more brightness on her because this is kind of like her emphasis pose, so to speak, versus when she was sitting. So just trying to figure out how to play that.
Yeah. No, I mean, because
when he stands up and gets close to the desk, his face becomes more lit. So I wasn't sure.
Yeah. No, he's doing okay. She feels far enough away from the table right now where it shouldn't be like she looks like she's even back behind the chair.
Okay.
So I think it's okay. Like if she got like within, like right next to the table, I would then bounce her up. But like as she's back in this region here, keep all that about the same. And then it would only be a matter of brightening her as she moves forward. Watch out for there's some sharp shadows on him. So just watch out for those. But yeah, that's all. That's mainly where my concern lies, is just making sure that the cut together works, which we'll see in 16 frames. Is that true?
No. I'm rendering the full res version out of the first shot I finished, so I haven't started with this one.
Got it. I would do some low res tests of the two, and then like put together the cut order so we can see how it looks together as a sequence, and that'll give us some more clarity.
Should I keep like a flat light on her face, or kind of shape it more like how it is in the first half of the scene?
More like the first half.
Okay.
Yeah. And just see how that plays out. Like the thing is like don't with this stuff, it's good to like if you have like we're calling the master shot, the shot of him, and then we have the shot of her. Just allow those lights to live and then to live in this shot just as they are, and then render it out at a low resolution. Do it every 4th frame, every 10th frame, whatever that can get done like overnight when you sleep one night. And then you can get up the next day and evaluate it a little bit, because it might be okay. And before we start breaking the connection between the shots, we want to make sure that we're doing it thoughtfully and mindfully and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Is the liquid in the bottle looking better? I tweaked some of the shader for the liquid because before it was like super solid.
Yeah, it does. The overall bottle feels a little dim. Like I think the I think it can go a little bit brighter overall, but I think
I don't think I actually have a light directly hitting it, so I can brighten it up a bit.
Yeah, it should be more like that. And again, like it shouldn't be about a light hitting it directly. Is like I'm surprised it's not refracting the light hitting the chair a little bit more strongly, because glass doesn't really react that much to light hitting it directly. It reacts more to bright things around it that it can reflect and refract. Because like this value feels similar to like this and this. Where it was before, it felt like it was getting extra dark. So.
Let's mess with the settings.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. All right. Is there anybody else that's on live that has anything to review? I think we got everybody. Okay, so now we will go. Go through the others. So we have Andre here. Let me go ahead and pull his previous version. So this is the previous. This is the updated. So we're just darkening. Getting this guy in the light, darkening some of the plants. darkening the ground around them a little bit, which is looking good. I think it's all looking good. It's for their legs. I'm also a little bit wanting to take down some of the rims on her legs as well. He's actually okay, but like this brightness down here by her foot, like you can see in the shadow that the sun stops hitting her right at about underneath her toe here. And so I think if you extend that over, maybe it does hit the back of her leg a little bit, but it definitely wouldn't be down here. So I would just like kill some of that light. Let's see something. Oh, not that. I wonder if... guess it's okay. I wonder if like it is maybe a little bit lifted in the white points. Again, this is just pulling down that black value just a touch. I mean, because I like how bright and airy it feels and like lots of light bouncing around, but I do want to just pull those dark values just a touch more. And I would like to see this one at a higher resolution because I do want to see what the character's faces seem good, but I want to see his eyes. And I'm worried about some of these values getting too bright around the nose and stuff. But, yeah, I think that's okay. I wonder, too, and we did this on Holly's animated shot, if it wouldn't benefit us to darken the road so it's more like a darker asphalt. Because, like, looking tonality outside the window, like the building, this road, the sidewalk, it all feels kind of similar. And I just kind of want to separate those out a little bit. And I think that darkening the road could help. But yeah, but that's coming together well. All right. And next up we have Ayako. So I think this is good. The only things I would change would be, I think the eyes are coming out more strongly now. I would push them even more. And then let's do two things here. Do this for one. Again, I'm just looking at the eye, the iris. I was adjusting those. Kind of a little bit brighter. And then for the eye dings, I would just make them, it's a little big, but slightly bigger, just so they read a little bit more strongly at that level. Because again, if you think about it being like a broad window, that would be reflecting the light in. I think making it a little bit bigger would be good. So bigger, and I didn't do it, but like a little bit warm too. A little bit on the warm side. But overall, that's great. All right, Felicia, welcome. So this is your first assignment. This is your reference. This is Coraline. And the one thing I want you to work on for the next iteration is the overall luminosity. So if we look at this, we're going to do a quick comparison between this and your reference. And this is how we check luminosity in Photoshop or really anywhere. We take a black constant over top of everything. You mix it using the color mixer. And we'll do it to this one, and we'll do it to yours as well. And one of the things that we start to see is these brighter values, like around her on the bed and around the light bulb, because again, those are kind of our two focal points when we're looking. Like if you squint at the image in its original, like your eye kind of goes to her and kind of goes to this bulb. And I think, and it's because they're slightly brighter than everything else around it. In here, everything is a little bit more tonality, similarly tonal. Is that right? No, that's not how you say that. There's the tonality on them are similar. Like basically, I just want to make something a little bit brighter than something else. So if we just like take, you know, the light here in the middle, and we just like brighten up the spotlight in here. I'm doing it in the comp, but you would do this in the light. And then, you know, just kind of get this area to be, is very crude, but like getting that area to be a little bit brighter. then increases that and would allow us to create a little bit more separation. Again, this is crude and not great, but like you want some element in it to be a little bit brighter value-wise in order to get that to read. But other than that, I think your color is good. I think everything else is falling together well. Like I think that this kind of magenta color, this one's a little bit brown, maybe could be a little bit more red, but I think overall you're getting the tonality white. It's really just about getting that subtle brighter area. All right, Jordan, we have a couple images here from you. So this is the first one that you submitted, second, and then there's this third iteration. So let's talk about this one first. That's not the reference. I guess it's the reference. So we got the daytime one. This is from Over the Moon, which is it's a pretty cool, fun little project by Netflix and another studio whose name I forget. Again, I won't say it because I'll probably mess it up. But looking at these two, like you've obviously softened, you've gotten this, and it's really interesting to be illuminated by the eyes of this robot, but in a loving, kind way. Right, like it feels like something that like when a robot's like at you, it's like a little scary. But you're doing a really nice job. I think that some of these areas can go a little darker in the foreground here. It's also a tricky setup because the light is pretty direct on her, and I'm wondering if there's a way. I guess we can't really. I was gonna try and cheat the light one way or the other to create more shaping on her, but I think it's okay. I like what you're doing by having the spot here and kind of fading off as we go down. I think that's really beneficial. The eye whites seem pretty dim compared to how bright this is. You know what I would do? I would soften these shadows and stuff too, even though this is like kind of a single light source. Think of it as being relatively bigger, and creating some soft values. And like this shadow in here is pretty. It's very solid. Like there again, not a lot of variation in there. So I think that increasing the radius would help that. I think color on her is looking pretty good. We do want to keep pushing, like getting more specularity in her skin tones. I think that'll help. Like you can see it in her, like this is broader, but you can see some specular shifts as it goes across her skin tones there. And then the other thing to watch out for, there's just like some weird DOF thing on the corner of this book right here, just to watch out for there. Yeah, and then possibly work on getting some reflections in the glasses, and I would desaturate these glasses a little bit. They're a little punchy magenta. In terms of this one,
that one's actually his very first iteration.
This one that I'm looking at now.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we critiqued it, and then he said he moved on.
Got it. Okay, so I won't say anything about this one.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Diana. Oh, did you have any, like, now that you've seen this one, did you have any other notes? Anything? Was this kind of in the vision that you guys were talking about?
Yeah, the first iteration that he posted, like the updated one, the first one of the updated ones, I was like, you actually hit a lot of notes without listening to us. So yeah, that was cool. But then in the second one, I think he added maybe volume or something. Yeah. I just I think there's some lost detail in her like hair.
Yeah.
That stood out.
Yeah, that's really true. Some of it's a little bit too strong overall, and you're right. Like you do start to lose detail on her hair. I also think that we lose some of the IOR on the glasses. Like you just look at her eyes. It's kind of fun that they get like extra big, right?
It's kind of cute that way.
It really is. It's kind of whimsical and fun. And yeah, totally the detail on the hair. So I would pull back on that volumetric. But one of the things that it is doing, it kind of pulled back the saturation on some of this. Actually, I guess it's falling into more shadow there. But again, I think that this level of saturation on the magenta on the lens is a little too strong. That's a really good point, Diana. Thank you. All right, let's hop onto Mindy's. So was looking at this, and I'm wondering. I'm wondering if maybe it's maybe it's a reflection, but basically, I'm wondering if we can't get more variation in the environment somehow, and I'm wondering if it's not a matter of making some of the some of these a little bit darker. And maybe making, instead of all the railings the same tone, making them a little bit darker, because I think the lighting is probably pretty good. It's just a matter of everything kind of feels very similar throughout it, and I want to just and these green plants are really popping off, and I'm wondering if there is no way, and I'm this is me asking more of a question for those that are live right now, if you all think that that it would be beneficial to kind of vary up some of the colors in the buildings and railings and stairs and stuff in the surroundings.
I think it would.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
I mean, I know it's kind of the brownstone sort of feel, so they're kind of a little similar. But I mean, if you just maybe made some of the ones in the back a little darker, so it kind of looks like that's shadow, so you're still more focusing on her.
Yeah.
And then I think the plants probably need a bit more of diffusion. They're still kind of too specky, I think.
I guess they're pretty, but looking at
because the brick and stuff gets kind of weather beaten and aged, and it's gonna all vary depending on if it's done a repair or not or whatever.
Perk Slope is another neighborhood in Brooklyn that has similar type brownstones and very pink one.
Look at that one on the left, the top left, Mike.
What's that? This one?
I think that's pretty much like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much like her scene.
Yeah, that's true.
You can.
Let's pull this into this. So it's just the variation level in some of this stuff. I mean, you don't need to get this much foliage, but a darker door,
but also variation in the foliage color too.
Yeah, that's really good as well. Also, and the ceramics and stuff. So yeah, I think a good next step for this one would just be a variation pass on some of the buildings and stuff, and then looking at the reflections in the windows here, I think that you can get some. I think you can push some brighter sky reflections in them maybe. And that would be good too. Yeah. Park Slope is nice. You guys should check it out if you're going to come here. Okay. Next up. Okay. So, Sooner we've got, so this is, if anyone's seen Spies in Disguise, this is the opening sequence. It was all lit by one artist, this guy named Angel Camacho, who is incredibly talented, probably one of the most talented people. And he just makes everything look so beautiful. And this scene in particular, the amount of softness, the amount of backlight, the amount of fill light, the amount of softness overall, it's really, really on point to the emotional setting that we're trying to create here. So so one of the biggest things is the key to fill ratio. So just and I know Forrest pointed this out too, in the shot that you're referencing, it's very backlit. There's lots and lots of light coming in through the window, but I think you're trying to get a similar look. So the biggest thing that you want to watch out for is look at the fill value on her face here versus the fill value in here. And what Angel was doing a little bit more than, yes, he's using, it's definitely brighter around the edge here and definitely brighter on this side, but it's more about a hue shift to cooler tones slightly in here. And you can see, again, some specularity and then the amount of bounce that's up in here on him. So you really just want to kind of engulf the space with this kind of warm light that rattles around and only fills in as the cooler colors on the sides. Forrest also pointed out, you just want to watch the subsurface on some of this stuff, right here on the ear and on her nose feels a little strong. And then the other thing too is you want to soften the environment, and by that I mean throwing it out of focus, not allowing anything to go into like super dark values in there. And then from there, like a big thing too is the connection to the character's eyes. Like you can see it, like you feel so aware of, like you feel like such a good connection to her, because again, like the sclera is a little bit brighter, but also a little bit on the warm side. You can still see her green color, and you've got the eye ding falling right on the edge of this iris pupil thing. And again, normally we would lift it up a little higher than this, but given her eye shape in this and the way that she's looking, like if we went up here, we would lose it. So we kind of pulled it down a little bit. And so for this one, it'd be a matter of like there's some sort of like super dark line there, getting the eye whites to pop. The pupil and iris is like blended together on this side, so it doesn't really feel like a human eye yet. So I think that would be a big thing for you to address as well. Right, and then we have Vanessa. Okay, cool. So we've got this reference, and then we've got your image. So I think pull them together. So I think they're looking good. I think that we can go a little darker in yours around like these, like around the area further away from the window. Because like if I'm comparing the value of this wall to this, I think it can go a little bit darker. Looking out the window looks good. The character herself, I think she looks good. A little bit of, I would maybe tone down her subsurface a little bit because it's just kind of like I would like to create a little more shadow from her chin in here. And then her hair. I'm wondering if her hair could get a little more speck on the edge here. And then I'm also just for... I'm looking at her, the thing on the bottom of her dress, this area, and I'm wondering if we can go a little brighter, less saturated on it. Just to, because it all depends on the look that you're going for. It just feels a little bit... Oof. That's not what I want. Basically, it's starting to feel a little bit on the dingy side. And I'm wondering, it's not bad. Took this more, made it brighter. What would that look like? Ugh. Never mind. Basically, I'm wondering if we make it white, if that'll be a little bit better, but or just a little bit brighter, a little brighter, a little less saturated, and I think it would be good. Just because it has the same color as like the weathered maps, and it makes it feel kind of old and tea stained in that way. And then anybody else have any thoughts on this? I think this is looking pretty good though.
Yeah, we also got it on Saturday too.
Yeah.
So she has...
Okay, I get it. Saturday was awesome. You guys are amazing. No, I'm just kidding. No. I think no. That's really good. Yeah. So is there anything else that you think that could have been improved on based on the notes from Saturday?
No.
Right? I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. It gives me the right feeling,
Yeah.
I think. But it's just some details.
Yeah, some details
That
and
could be better.
maybe a little bit. And again, let's see if this falls off. Maybe just like a little bit of volumetric light coming in through the window too. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You give it a try.
I think you basically nailed it. Like it
Yeah.
looks really good. She's
Yeah.
not like she's color matched and everything. So yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. All right, cool. All right, well, that is everything for today, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah. lots of good stuff to go through. And thank you again, Diane. I know I just teased you about it, but you and Forrest did a marathon session this weekend. It was like an hour and a half long, and that's a lot of critiquing. So thank you guys so much for doing that. You guys are spot on, and like it's always like I'm always like, oh, look at how great everyone's work improved over the weekend, but usually it's because you guys did a pretty grand Saturday session as well, so that's really cool. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah. All right, cool. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, and thank you all very much, and I'll see you guys very soon. All right, happy lighting, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.